It's me again. It was Ben, and he was excited. The pain was gone, and they had him on clear liquids. Well, he had a popsicle. He had an orange popsicle, and he was so excited. So he had to show me he was getting to eat. So I'll wait for everybody to get in here. I'm sorry I'm doing this again, but I figured y'all want to know the good news too. And he apologized for breaking into tea time. There's a puppy. So y'all come on back. We got to be thankful. Be thankful. That's the main thing. We just have to be thankful. I don't know why people are coming into the face aren't coming into the Facebook live, but hey, people are in here from yeah. Ben uh, had a good things happen, and they put him on clear liquids for today, and tomorrow he gets to eat solid food. This is all good. I don't know why people aren't coming in with Facebook, but hey, we'll do it for YouTube. Noise, noise everywhere. Just lots of noise outside today. It says I have a low network. Don't know why I have a low network. There, I'm getting some hearts. As Leanne says, sharing is caring. I guess I was uploading the other one. So I don't know. Maybe I just don't need to be outside. Or maybe I need to get in a different spot. I like being in my red chairs though. I really like my red chairs. There we're getting some people in. So if y'all missed it earlier, when I did the first show, um, Ben called, and he had a rough time this morning. I talked to him about 11:30, and they gave him a shot, and it was so painful. But then it got better, and because his bowels were working, they've put him on a clear liquid diet today, and he might get to eat food tomorrow. And if he gets to eat food for a couple of days and continues to go to the bathroom properly, he may get to go home. So this is all good. It's all good. Yeah, it is good. So we have to be thankful. Be thankful for the little things. Little things. Yeah, his cancer is in his abdomen. And if your gut's not working, nothing works about you. It really is. You love the background music. I don't like the noise I'm hearing from over that way. It's big equipment. But, people building, people are cleaning up. Well, Ben's been on my show before. We would do live shows, and he would get on my bed and sit behind me when I would do a show sometimes. Last January and February and December. Oh, so y'all are just hearing the birds. Yeah, last September Ben was in prison, and he got sick, and they had to take him to the hospital, and then they ended up taking him to Nashville, and they took out part of his colon and part of his small intestines, and he doesn't have a whole lot left. You know, he's lucky, he's blessed that they didn't have to put in a colostomy bag. And he was in a lot of pain. And then while he was in the hospital, he made parole. We went over for parole hearing on the 12th of September, and it was the end of September when he got sick. So he was in the hospital. I couldn't even tell him he made parole. Do I get a lot of snow? We have had some big snows. We had like a 27-inch snow a couple years ago. We didn't have hardly any snow last year. And we just have, sometimes our biggest snows are before Christmas. But we didn't have much snow last year. Now, we could have snow this year, but you just never know. I saw a black woolly worm, and that means it's going to snow a lot. My little wind chimes are going. But it's a nice place to live. We live in the middle of 10 acres of trees, so we can always have a tree to cut down for firewood. In fact, Robert split some wood today. And I've decluttered my office, y'all, my studio. I decluttered my office. You know, my sound bar that I had, it just didn't, it quit working the other day with my iPad. And I couldn't make it work. So I've rigged up a different way with this little portable speaker, and it's working quite nicely. A black woolly worm is a caterpillar. Yeah. Yeah. So keep saying prayers for Ben. He really wants to go home. He does not want to go to the next stage in the hospital. And he found a new home for his dog yesterday. Which that had to be heartbreaking because he loved that dog. You gotta do what you gotta do. Live every day as if it were your last. Every day. Ben is born in 1981, so he's 30. His birthday's in May. So he'll be 40 his next birthday. The dog is laying on acorns. That's a chipper. Well, folks, I'm sorry I had to break away from the show earlier, but y'all understand. Oop, that's a mosquito that landed on my nose. That's funny. Leanne, you're so funny. All together now. I don't. We've been hearing things hit the door at night, and Robert finally said, "It's acorns." And they're big fat ones this year. So the squirrels are putting them away for the winter. Are you getting ready for winter? We get ready for winter. Sometimes we could get snowed in for 2 or 3 days. That mosquito bit me. So be prepared to stay home. Be prepared to not have to go to the grocery store every week. Build you a pantry. Let me show you these acorns. Let me see if I can get one of them. They're big fat acorns. So it's we like knowing that we could cook if we needed to, or we could stay home if we wanted to. And next month is menu planning month. This month we're getting rid of our paper clutter. So, let's, when you cook a meal, set aside, make two. If you make one meatloaf, make two meatloafs. Plan for building your pantry and your freezer. Yep, it's a good thing to have food on hand. And it works. I learned this early on. I don't know how she was doing, but there was a great big one. I could see maybe it wasn't all the way underneath her. And Robert blows this off every 2 or 3 days. Big old leaves falling. So y'all keep in mind, feather dusters are on sale right now. They're $12 off, and we've never done that before, ever. Robert, defrost that freezer, so you can get some food in there. Get you an ice chest and put stuff in your ice chest that's in the freezer, and just, you know, get it thawed up. Don't be poking around on the ice. You can ruin a freezer, but just get it thawed up. Tulip doesn't eat the acorns. She just plays with them. She puts them in her mouth and tosses them. Don't. Give it here. Give it here. Well, she proved me wrong right then. I had to take it out of her mouth. This dog loves stuffed toys. She eviscerates them. She pulls all the stuffing out. She tosses them. She pulls them. She wants to play tug with Robert or anybody that'll play tug with her. She's a wild dog. You saw a spider web flying in the wind. That means the spiders have just hatched. I tell you a good story to read. Well, that was acorns. Falling out of the trees. That was close, too. It tried to get us, didn't it, puppy? Yeah, here's the spider web. Just a good story to read right now to your kids is Charlotte's Web. It's a wonderful story to read. It is a fun story to read about fall and fair and pigs and a great big spider spinning a web. I was talking to Michael the other night, and he and his wife are reading the Harry Potter books to their little boys. They're still coming down. And I said, which book are, because I've read them all too, and watched the movies and I've listened to the audio books by Jim Dale, who reads them, who's great orator. And he said, we just love reading the kids' books, a chapter book at night. And they love it. Little bit of wind chime going. Yeah, Charlotte's Web is a great book. I read that as like a third grader. Oh, I need protective headgear. That's funny. I'm getting a sunbeam, little bitty sunbeam. This is good. Yeah, the Chronicles of Narnia are good books. Lord of the Rings is a bit scary, I think, for little kids. But when I was in third grade, our teacher read us the Little House on the Prairie books. Little House in the Big Woods, Little House on the Prairie, the Laura Ingalls Wilder books. And they were just so much fun to read about our country expanding across the across the continent. Families moving and inhabiting different areas of the country. I love that. I don't know the Mercy Watson series. Somebody was asking if I had read that. No, I haven't. I'll have to look that up. I do like the Rush Revere books. Those are great books for children. And then there's a series of books by Bill O'Reilly for young children about the founding of the country. Love the Little House on the Prairie books. My sister read the Little Women books, but I never read those. Well, some people don't like the Harry Potter books, but they got a whole generation of people reading that didn't read. There's my hawk. I heard my hawk. I hear it. But the Little House on the Prairie are amazing books. So everybody, take some time to read to your children, even to read out loud to yourself. The other night we couldn't find the white cat, and Robert was worried that the hawk had gotten the white cat, and he couldn't get the cat. He couldn't. He called the cat, and the cat wouldn't come. And finally, I called the cat, and I have a trick to calling the cat. I got his treats in a plastic bottle, and I shake it, and he comes running. Train your cat to shake the treats, because you might have to get them out of the house one day if your house is on fire like ours was once. Oh, it feels good out here. That sunbeam coming through the trees. I can't look at it. Nancy Drew. Yep. Oh, that sun feels wonderful. Yeah, I've read all the Jan Karen books too. They're set up in a little town up near Boone, North Carolina, Blowing Rock. I read all of those. I've even read some Stephen King books. In fact, I read the Stephen King book, The Stand, when the pandemic started. Our colors aren't about to peak. I think we've got a couple more weeks. Still got a lot of green. Oh, the Bobbsey twin. I remember that. Sarah Plain and Tall. I've seen that movie on the Hallmark Channel. Those were good books. And you might want to just start establishing a habit of reading. Even if you can't be with your grandchildren, you could you could read to them via the phone or on FaceTime or on Zoom. You could read to them. Let's not be afraid of technology. There's my sweet darling. Anyway, folks, let me get off of here. My blood heart rate is down like crazy. It's good to be on a porch. So take some time, go out and sit in a sunbeam. I love seeing all the books you're reading. That is fun. Anyway, I love you all, and I will see you tomorrow morning. It's anti procrastination day. Bye.